Freedom of the press is the most important wheel of democracy. Without a free press, a democracy cannot exist. The press is a great medium that conveys the truth to people. However, it cannot fully function if the press is not free.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode from FiliPodcast. Today, we will be talking about media suppression. And Gia has mentioned in her introduction the importance of press freedom. But first, let's talk about what is this media suppression all about. Media suppression is the suppression of speech, public communication, or other information. This may be done on the basis that such material is considered objectionable, harmful, sensitive, or inconvenient. This can be conducted by governments, private institutions, and other controlling bodies.
So it is all about withdrawing or withholding something, and it can also be discretion when it comes to a certain amount of information to be brought out to others, right? Even though our country is a democratic country, when it comes to the freedom of the press, we are not fully able to have our freedom to convey the truth to everyone. When I think about media suppression here in our country, two things come to my mind, like what has happened before and now just recently.
Hey, I think I know what you're talking about.
Great, so let's share it all out here.
Well, for me, when we talk about media suppression, I remember something that happened years ago. When former President Marcos issued Proclamation 1081, which revoked all civil liberties, shut down the democratic system of government, and removed all checks and balances, allowing him to establish himself as a dictator supported by the military and the police. Recently, at present time, many Filipinos who lived and survived the martial law could not help but notice how former President Duterte's regime appeared to have gone back in time, where he expressed openly and crudely his hostility towards the critics, particularly the journalists. He used government-sponsored social media efforts to discredit mainstream media, using troll armies that popularized the labels prostitutes and bayaran, driving social media exchanges with all kinds of misinformation and false narratives.
That's right. Fast forward to 2022, Duterte has stepped down, but it is clear that Marcos' son, Ferdinand Marcos Jr., will simply carry on the policies and programs that Duterte implemented during his 6 years in power. Marcos Jr. is eager to maintain the status quo established by his predecessor. He has not opened up to the press, similar to Duterte, who did not allow journalists easy access. He, like Duterte, has avoided dealing with the press and has been picky in who he allows to interview him.
Also, I think that it was on September 28, 1972 when Marcos Sr. issued Letter of Instruction number 1A ordering the sequestration of ABS CBN facilities, accusing the media conglomerate of conspiring with the Communist Party and operating for propaganda purposes against the government. And almost 10,000 people lost their jobs, and it was the first time that the ABS CBN was shut down.
So, ABS CBN was shut down before, and now, just recently, under Duterte's administration, the House Committee on Legislative Franchises voted 7-11 against ABS franchise CBN's renewal application in July 2020. As a result, an estimated 11,000 people were laid off, and the network's free TV and radio stations across the country were barred from using their assigned broadcast frequencies. Marcos Jr. did not become engaged in the affair, nor did he express worry over lawmakers calling the National Telecommunications Commissions to investigate the validity of landmark contract between ABS CBN and TV5, which caused both sides to cancel the agreement on September 1.
So if we will all look at it, the Philippine press is often believed to be among the freest in Asia, but it continues as one of the most dangerous countries in the world to practice journalism. And up until today, some of the things we see in the media don't convey everything to be true. Even though we are free, the press or media is still constrained on coverage.
So if asked, does our press have freedom? The answer is no. This leads to the conclusion that the media are suppressed in the Philippines. Before and up until now, the media doesn't have its freedom despite our country being democratic. Despite this, we will not stop speaking regarding freedom of the press. Now more than ever, our fights and advocacy should be loud enough to strengthen the rights of media and press. Our media should be independent and should act against its own free will. However, those within the high-ranking positions uses their power to strike down those who speak against them.